Why is Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's trip to Egypt important? Some commentators have lauded Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Egypt as a potential game-changer for bilateral relations. The visit was anticipated to open the door for a significant rise in India's investment in the North African nation and serve as a stepping stone for Egypt to join the BRICS economic community. It is Modi's first visit to the country as Prime Minister and the first by any Indian Prime Minister since 1997. It has happened months after Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's trip to New Delhi in January, during which he attended India's 74th Republic Day celebrations as a chief guest. El-Sisi was the first Egyptian president accorded the honor. The bilateral ties between the two countries, which were already elevated to a strategic level during el-Sisi's visit in January, have been seen as being strengthened by Modi's visit. Analysts say it could also reveal the contours of how ties could unfurl in the days ahead. This is a very quick, reciprocal visit coming just within 6 months of President Sisi's visit to India. Arindam Bagchi, a spokesman for the Indian Foreign Ministry, said, "We do expect and are certain that the visit will not only ensure continuous momentum to the relationship between our two nations, but will also enable it extend to new sectors of trade and economic involvement." For India, observers have said it is to consolidate its position as a voice of the Global South as it gears up to host the G20 meeting in September in the capital New Delhi. Modi would mingle with the small Indian community in addition to holding bilateral discussions and signing numerous economic agreements. He was also scheduled to meet with important figures in Egypt. Since they were among the founding members of the Non-Alignment Movement, NAM, a global organization of 120 developing nations that supported the non-alignment of major power blocs, India and Egypt have cultivated close connections. According to experts, New Delhi is seeking more direct access to the Middle East and North Africa, MENA, region through Cairo, even if Egypt has expressed interest in growing India's investment in the nation. Refurbished image. According to Aftab Kamal Pasha, a Middle Eastern Studies professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi, Egypt and India have long had cordial relations. There are clear limits to what he, Modi, can get from the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, states, so he turned to Egypt, Pasha said. Pasha said el-Sisi would like to see Egypt join BRICS, a powerful grouping of the world's major economies including Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Pasha predicted that Modi would be able to claim domestically that the most significant Arab nation was backing India without criticizing his treatment of Indian Muslims or bringing up his actions in Kashmir. What do both countries seek? Over the past several years, Egypt's economy has seen turbulent times, first brought on by the epidemic and then by the Russia-Ukraine war, which had an impact on the food supply of about 80% of Egypt's grains imported from Russia and Ukraine. Cairo can be a gateway to major markets in both Europe and Africa for India, experts said. India has also been concerned about China's growing influence in Egypt. China's bilateral trade with Egypt is currently at $15 billion, double that of India's $7.26 billion in 2021-22. Regional recognition. According to senior research fellow Fazlur Rahman Siddiqui of the Indian Council of World Affairs, ICWA, New Delhi, India wants to become a major player in the Global South. Since Modi came to power, India has tried to broaden its foreign policy outreach. India has opened almost 20 new missions on the African continent, Siddiqui said. Egypt has lost its voice in regional affairs like in Palestine, Ethiopia, and many African countries over the years. The kind of say it used to have, they have lost their shine. And Egypt is now looking outside of the continent, with India possibly holding the key to its rising importance. In addition to the potential for an industrial zone for India in Egypt, The direct flight between Cairo and New Delhi will really solidify our relations and open up new horizons.